Go. Alright, you have to do 4 minus 1, so that's 3. Square that to get 9, and then add 3 to get 12 minus 10 would be 2. And multiply that 2 by the 4 to get 8. So 3 plus 8 is 11 minus 2 is 9. You have to do 10 minus 7, so that's 3. 3 squared is 9, so you have 8 times 9. And then over here, 11 minus 7 is 4. Square that to get 16, and then times 9. So you should have 72 plus 144 minus 25. This will be 216 minus 25, which is 191. Six times 3 is 18. Minus 15 is 3. Square that to get 9. Times 2 is 18. Plus 3, and then minus 9. So that's going to be 12 times 2 is 24. Plus 7 is 31. Plus 2 is 33. The winning number today is 5. If you have all your homework completed with work shown, then bring it up here. Homework. 7 here, 7 with homework, 100%. Alright, here are the answers. On the first one, you could have 17 plus 25 plus x equals 60. If you dwindle this down to 42 plus x, you have to do 60 minus 42 to get the answer of 18. And 18 is what we were looking for. Number 2, 43 plus x plus 2x. If you simplify it to 3x plus 43 equals 115, you would do 115 minus 43, the opposite, to get 72, and divide it by 3 to get 24. So the second one was 24 and the third one was 48. Alright, on this one, it is x plus 2x plus 4x equals 70. If you simplify this, you get 7x. Divide 70 by 7 to get 10. And bucket 1 would have been 10, 2 is 20, and 3 is 40. On the fourth one, it's just a matter of x plus 2x. This was the girls and boys problem. So x would be the girls, 2x is the boys. Girls would be 10, boys would be 20. And we came up with this in class yesterday. 76 divided by 20 must be greater than or equal to g to come up with the number of groups. And the number of groups you need for this one is 4. So we answered that one in class. Now on this one, where they had some money, I think it was John and Joe, and they had to pay taxes on it. So X was one of them and Y was the other. This person had to pay 75% tax. That's the same as 3/4. And this one had to pay 50%. That's the same as half. And then after they pay their taxes, their total money was $400. If you just guess and check, you can do it many times until you come up with the right answer, but it doesn't take that long. 400 works for this. If you put in 400 and find 75% of it, that's 300. And then if you put in 200 for this one, half of that's 100. They add up to give you 400. So you would have 400 and 200 for your answers. And this is above and beyond what we're doing for the objective. This is a more difficult problem. Now on this one, I think you had to haul gasoline, and you had to haul 80,000 gallons of it, but the truck only holds 7,000. So if you divide 80 by 7,000, you come up with 11 point something, but that means you're going to need 12 trucks to haul everything, so it should be 12. On number 8, it's another guess and check problem. You have two different types of trucks, one that hauls 5,000 and one that hauls 6,000, and you have to haul 88,000 altogether. In the problem, it tells you that each truck must make the same number of trips. So if you start with 5 just to guess and check and work it out, that would be 25,000 plus 30,000, that's 55,000. It doesn't equal 88. And if you try 6, you get 66,000. 7 each would be 77,000. But you have to get to 8. And if you do 8, this is 40,000, this is 48,000. If you add them together, you get 88,000. So it should be 8 and 8. Same objective today, create equations and inequalities in one variable and use them to solve problems. Include equations arising from linear and quadratic functions and simple rational and exponential functions. So we may throw in some of the quadratic, simple rational, and exponential functions tomorrow. Example 1. Jill has 3 buckets. Each have apples in them. The first bucket amount is unknown. If the first bucket amount is unknown, then what should I do at this point in the problem? Make it what? Yeah, we'll make it X. So bucket 1 will be X. The second has 10 more than the first. Now what can I do to represent the second bucket? Yeah. X plus 10. The third has 5 less than the first. What can I do to represent the third bucket? The third has 5 less than the first one. What's the first one? X, so what would we do? Yeah, so we could do X minus 5. The total of all buckets added together is 38. Strange looking 3. So what operation do I put in here between all of these expressions? Addition. And what goes between the X minus 5 and the 38? Equals. Okay. So there's our equation, but now we have to go through and solve it. The question specifically asks, how many apples are in the third bucket? But we have to go through and solve this. How many X's do we have in the problem? 3. So we'll have 3X. And then what else is left over on the left-hand side of that equation? We have a plus 10 and a minus 5. What happens when we combine those together? What's 10 minus 5? 5. So we have positive 5 left over, so we add 5. Now we have 38. To solve this equation, you're going to have to move this plus 5 over to the right side and change the operation. So you're going to have minus 5 on the right. So that 3X is by itself on the left, but now you have 38 minus 5 on the right. 38 minus 5 is what? 33, and for some reason I've written a scratch mark in there, so 3X equals 33. To get the answer for X, what do I do? Divide 33 by 3 to get what? Yeah, we'll get the X equals 11. But the question is saying, or asking, how many apples are in the third bucket? Which one of these expressions represents the third bucket? x minus 5. So if x minus 5 is the third bucket, and I put 11 in for x, how many apples are in the third bucket? 6. Example 2. 4 cars traveled to various destinations over the weekend. Car 1 traveled 12 more miles than car 2. Car 3 traveled 8 less miles than car 1, and car 4 traveled 20 miles more than car 3. The total miles driven by all cars is 280. How far did car 4 travel? Okay, so take it one piece at a time. Car 1 traveled 12 more miles than car 2. Do you remember the trick that I showed you yesterday about how to determine which item you're going to let equal to x? Yeah. Car 2 is going to be x because car 1 is making reference to car 2. And nowhere through the problem is it given that car 2 is anything. All it says is that car 1 traveled more than car 2. So that would mean we're going to have car 1, car 2, car 3, car 4, and set it equal to some total amount, 280. So car 1 traveled 12 more miles than car 2. Let x be car 2, and what would we put in for car 1? X plus 12. Okay, so car 3 traveled 8 less miles than car 1. Here's car 1, and car 3 traveled 8 less miles. So what should I put in for car 3? X minus 8? 12 minus 8? Here's car 1. At some point, yes, but there's something else that goes along with car 1 besides 12. It's x. X plus 12 goes along with car 1. So if car 3 traveled 8 less miles than car 1, we could insert x plus 12 minus 8 in for car 3. And now car 4 traveled 20 miles more than car 3. So look at what we have representing car 3. Car 4 went 20 miles more than this. So you could insert x plus 12 minus 8 plus 20. Now you can simplify a lot of this. We have to put in our plus signs for everything in there. But you can simplify this. Of course, x plus 12 can't be simplified. And neither can the x for car 2. But we have x plus 12 minus 8. If you combine the x plus 12 minus 8, you end up with x plus 4. Now, we'll go back and check this and see if it's actually going to turn out that way. We'll do this up here at the top. Look at what happens if I do this. What if I had all of these numbers down here, such as the 12 plus 12 minus 8 plus 12 minus 8 and plus 20? What if we had all those by themselves? And go left to right. 12 plus 12 is what? 24 minus 8. 16 plus 12. 28 minus 8 plus 20. Okay, now let's do this. We just went in here and did 12 minus 8 and came up with 4. So let's do that. Instead of 12 minus 8, we'll just put a 4 in there and go through and do everything else. 12 plus 4. 16 plus 12, 28 minus 8, 20 plus 20, 40. It's still going to come out the same thing. So whenever you have plus and minus all the way through there, chances are you can simplify and not come out with something different or alter the formula. Okay, so we'll continue on in blue. What could we do here for car 4? What's 12 minus 8? 4 plus 20, 24, and then equals 280. How many x's do I have in here? 1, 2, 3, and the last one I left out, didn't I? Okay, so we'll do plus an x in there. My fault. We do have 4 x's. Now what's 12 plus 24? 36 plus 4. 40. What do I need to do to solve this equation down at the bottom? We have to subtract 40 from the right side. When we do that, we come up with 248. Now what do I do to solve for x? Yeah, 248 divided by 4. What is 248 divided by 4? $62. Is this our answer? What are we looking for? We are looking for car 4. How far did car 4 travel? This is the expression that represents car 4. So if you put in 62 here and do 62 plus 12, what is 62 plus 12? 74 minus 8. 66 plus 20. 86. So car 4 will have traveled 86 miles. Four people are reading books. Person 1 read 12 pages less than person 2. Person 3 read 25 more pages than person 1. Person 4 read 18 pages, or 18 less pages than person 3. The total pages read by all 4 readers is 356. How many pages did person 1 read? For the practice problem, person 1 read 12 pages less than person 2. So we'll have person 1, person 2, person 3, person 4, and then a total. The total is 356. We'll put that in now. Person 1 read 12 pages less than person 2. So person 2 is going to be the x, and person 1 is x minus 12. Person 3 read 25 more pages than person 1. So person 1 plus 25. And then we have person 4 read 18 pages less than person 3. So we have x minus 12 plus 25 for person 3, but it's 18 less than that. And all of this will be plus. We'll add up the x's. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 x's. And then we'll go through here and do a negative 12. Minus 12 is a negative 24. Plus 25 is 1. Minus 12 is negative 11. Plus 25 is 14. Minus 18 is minus 4. And it's all equal to 356. So 4x equals 356. And what do I put on the right of 356? It's minus 4 on this side. You do the opposite when you cross over. You have to add 4. So 4 equals 360. And if I divide 360 by 4, I'll come up with what? 90. We're looking for person 1, so if we did person 1 here, person 1 is x minus 12, so 90 minus 12 is 78. Three students received test scores. Student 1 received a score that is twice as high as student 2. Student 3 received a score that is 20 points higher than student 1. If the total of all scores is 220, then what is student 3's score? On the practice problem, student 1 received a score that is twice as high as student 2. So we have 1, 2, and 3. The sum of all the scores is 220. So again, student 1 received a score that is twice as high as student 2. This will be student 2. This will be student 1. And student 3 received a score that is 20 points higher than student 1. Student 1 is 2x, so we add 20 to it. And add all these together. You have 2, 3, 5 x's. And then plus 20 equals 220. So 5x equals 220, and you do the opposite of this on this side, so minus 20. 5x equals 200. If I divide 200 by 5, I come up with 40. Now 40 is the answer for student 2. We're looking for student 3. Student 3 is 2x plus 20, so I would do 2 times 40 and plus 20. That would be 80 plus 20, which is 100.